Just a quick vlog on something I noticed when in college, helping. Well, people were asking me questions about the edit and like Premiere Pro and stuff to do with audio and just and cuts and transitions and stuff with Premiere Pro. And I thought, and at that point, I thought to myself, right, okay, I'm pretty good with this stuff. Not just in the scheme of things, but in general, I'm fairly competent. I'm not sure how much I'd felt like that before, and it seemed like a shame that I'm only feeling that level of competence and basic skill, and that I have good instincts at the very last hurdle when I'm never going to get to use Premiere Pro again. My film's edited, so that's it. That's bizarre to think. Anyway, getting into this, was that worth talking about? Who knows? Let's try and tag something onto the end of it. Okay, in terms of the project on the whole, I think I feel a lot better, all in all. Hang on, was that yesterday? Yeah, it would have been yesterday. It doesn't feel like yesterday. It's been a long time since then. It's not relevant, but I passed the test first time today, the driving one. But I felt okay before that. I think in general I'm feeling fairly okay about it, even though I've got a long list of stuff to complete for Monday to turn in. It's all tying off loose ends, and I feel like the project's more or less there. Whether or not it's great, it's what's got me to the final result, and it's a final result I'm very happy with. And looking back on the vlogs, it's going to seem like all the way through I was very stressed and I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't believe it had come together. But in many ways, I think that says more about me than my actual skills. And yeah, yesterday hearing some of the stuff. So what's the date today? So I can have it. It's not coming up on my phone because I've been listening to music on it, so it's not on the home page. Calendar. Thursday the 18th. Looking back, I thought I didn't have it. I thought I really didn't have it together until I started printing everything off, scraping it all together, and realizing, okay, well, I did some substantial work, and I've worked hard. And I'm not going to be a grass or anything, but hearing some of the people around me and the gaps they'd left before their production, and what they reckon they're going to be able to do in this last 4 days out of 13 weeks of work. It's more just an issue of my confidence. I mean, I don't think that confidence is healthy. Thinking, okay, well, in the next 4 days, I can just knock out all of these units and half of the work that I should have done, if not more. But it's not. It wasn't healthy to be thinking the way I'm thinking, because it all came together in the end. You know, it is all coming together, and the stress drove me in many ways, and in many other ways, it made me seem incompetent, and it made me seem like I didn't know what I was doing. And professionally, that's no good to be thinking and feeling like that and seeming like that, when in fact I did have the skills to get it done. I said all the way through, it just wasn't an achievable thing to take on in 13 weeks. But here I am. Looks like that was a bad excuse. It's easier to make an excuse for one decision that you made weeks and weeks ago, rather than the way you feel everything's gone since. It's easy, but yes, my project was doable within 13 weeks. Whether it was doable to the high, and to be honest, I'd say it was doable to it's a doable project to distinction level standards, and I could have produced the film that I'm sitting on now. I could have produced a better one, and I could have produced far more incredible work. Well, someone could have done. But things don't work like that, or things don't always work out like that. And I'd argue with stuff as precarious as the stuff I've been trying to do, it's very unlikely that it works out perfect. But I'm really pleased with it. I'm really pleased with how I've done, and hopefully in the future I'll have more confidence. Thinking to myself, okay, well, I can pull this together. I'm working hard, and I'm doing as much as I can be doing. So I don't think I'm incompetent, and I don't think it was a stupid thing to take on. I'm really glad I've taken it on, and I'm really proud to have something to show for myself finally in terms of prop making. Because I remember how it felt going in for open days, and having them look over a portfolio of just almost no worthwhile work, and them just thinking, why did you bother coming? That's not nice. But if nothing else, I've proven myself to myself. I think I've got what it takes. Character strengths wise, that's something I really need to look at, because it's definitely shown me an awful lot about myself. And I'd never taken on anything like this before, and there's nothing the college could do to prepare you for the final major any better than they have. And even so, I felt so under-equipped. But it's there. It's I'm kind of backpedaling on all the times I said, oh, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. It's all come together, and I think a lot of people historically have probably felt that way about big projects that are just constantly stressed, and it's driven them to create good work, or it's driven them to suicide. I'm not saying that it drove me feeling bad or anything, like really bad or anything, but at the same time I think it's a natural feeling that people have, and it can send you either way. Yeah, I'm sure maybe I should look into that for the presentation, like who was, perhaps that is what he was thinking all the way through Citizen Kane, like, oh no, I'm not gonna get this done, the puppet is taking a long time, you know. Who knows? I mean, I'm not an expert on Orson Welles. I think, yeah, that's the one. But yeah, I think it's a good project. Irrespective of grade boundaries, which again I've put a lot of pressure on, and that really wasn't a fixation when I started the project. I just really wanted to create some good work. And then, since the actual threat of failure entered my mind, then it became a fixation, and an unhealthy one at that. At the same time, yeah, you need to be working to the criteria and trying to create work that's going to get you to where you need to be. But at the same time, the work's never going to be good if you don't lay most of your concern in the product being good. If it's box checking, then you're not going to create, because it's a creative course, and it's a creative process, and if you turn it into an exam, then you're not going to produce the best work that you could. So it wasn't healthy to think about it like that. But if you take it out of those terms, I certainly think it's a good project. It's a good package of work. I've worked hard, and I've made something cool. What more can I say? So if I hadn't had that level of pressure, because it shocked me, I thought everyone was feeling confident with themselves, and I looked around seeing people very just sort of pleased and calm, and cavalier about, taking breaks and stuff, and I didn't see a lot of stress around me, so that translated to me, because I'd also say day to day I don't see myself as a very anxious person. But maybe I don't think I'm socially anxious. But it's clear to me now that throughout a lot of the project, I've held an unhealthy level of anxiety relative to my peers. which says a lot about me that I didn't really know and I hadn't examined. But yeah, I figured, so everyone's got their crap together, and it's just me that is worrying about all this. And I'm not gonna grass anyone up, and I wouldn't, even if pressed, as to who. But people around me just genuinely weren't concerned because they just weren't concerned, and they've been used to phoning it in. And I've been used to phoning it in on occasion throughout the last 2 years. I've been guilty of thinking, okay, well, at least this doesn't count to anything. I'll just nail it on the final major. And then this came around, and I think it's harder. It's harder than it's different saying something and doing it. But yeah, I've worked hard throughout, and I've done all the necessary work as I went along, and haven't tried to make it all up afterwards, manufacture it based on the final product that I just made based on almost no research. And so I think more or less everyone was disproportionately worried. Some people aren't worried at all, where they really ought to be, and again, not wanting to drop anyone in it, but I can see why there's a lot. I can see why there was a lot of passes on the course last year. I can totally see how that happens. It could happen to me just the same, but I don't think anyone's attitude towards it that I've seen has been really healthy. Well, some people it's relative, and they've been dealing with it well, and they've worked hard. I saw Jason's film. I saw Jason's film yesterday, and I thought it was really cool. And again, that was something that kind of came out. That was something that kind of came out of nowhere for me, because I'd helped him with some of the green screen shots and everything, and I'd said, so what is this film about? And he was just saying, oh yeah, it's just kind of dealing with astral projection. And I said, what's the story? And he goes, well, basically a guy dies, and he's floating around in space, and he can sort of create worlds with his mind. And I was thinking, oh my god, what are you taking on? And I thought it was really cool, really liked it. Similar thing with Joe, and I think they both dealt with the project fairly well. Neither of them seemed overly stressed at some point until Jason very recently. But he's got it. He's got it together. But anyway, I was very, very stressed throughout, and I shouldn't have been. And I don't know whether it did my project good. I don't know how well I'd have done without that pressure. But I do know that if I'd had the same attitude as some of my peers, and I was comfortable not putting the work in, and treating it like something that should all come together at the end, and I'll work really hard in the last couple of weeks to try and bring it all together. Then yeah, I'd be coming out with incredibly terrible work. What I'm trying to say is I did all right, and the problem wasn't with my work ethic and the work I was producing. The problem was with me and how I dealt with it. But I guess however I dealt with it, at this point you can't argue with the results, and if the final product is good, then it's good. So I don't think I'm explaining what I'm trying to say very well, but I'm not sure how much better than that I can do. Okay, sorry. Okay. I just watched back a little bit of that, where I was thinking, where I said, oh, if I could just have the attitude of I'm working hard, I'm gonna get it, I'm doing everything that I can be doing, it's gonna come together. And I think, no, that's stupid as well. throughout this entire process, I was thinking, oh Christ, it's not going to get done. It's not going to get done. I can't do it. Oh my God, how am I going to pull this together? There's so much ahead of me, and there's so much. But thinking it's okay. I'm working hard. I'm going at my pace. Is a stupid thing as well. There's a medium ground there, totally. And I guess it's just about more awareness and more realism. It's about saying, okay, so I have this many weeks left. I have these processes to undertake. These take this amount of time. And if I speed this along, if maybe I submit to cutting these corners, then I should be able to comfortably do it, which leaves me time to do this, whatever. Rather than shutting your eyes, trying not to think about the weeks ahead, trying to just get the work that you can done now for fear of finding out that it's going to be totally impossible. So there's a middle ground there, and stress is healthy, but not in the way I've been experiencing it. Realism, I guess, is the key, and not what I was just talking about. Realism and awareness, I guess, is what I've been lacking over the process. Okay, just a second thought. Alright, I'll come back a third time. Just to be clear, that vlog was me trying to backpedal on all of the stuff that I've been saying that made me seem terrible throughout the whole process. Because I'm not terrible. I work hard at what I'm doing, and I think I've got it in me to produce good work. And I was scared about misrepresenting myself, something I really don't want to do. So that's what I was trying to do. I wrote down on a vlog, I need to backpedal and make myself seem vaguely competent, and like I worked to a plan, and like I worked hard, and that I didn't lose faith. Because even amongst all of the thinking, oh Jesus, it's not going to get done, on some level I never submitted to that. I never slowed down, and all of that motivated me to keep working more intensely. Didn't give me any optimism or hope, but it definitely drove me in many ways. And this is just me trying to say, but seriously, like I know what I said before, but I'm not that bad really. I've had a good go, and what can I say? The film is good, and if the film is good, I mean, a film where I've made every decision and built almost all of it, you can't put down to a fluke, really. It's got to be the product of a lot of work, and I know it's been the product of a lot of design and research. I didn't just build it as I went along. There were a lot of influences that went into it before, and maybe part of that was me trying to put off the building with a lot of research. But either way, the sequence of events was right. I'm not making up all of my research on the last 2 days. It's all there. It's all printed, and I think I've done well. And I'm glad that I'm genuinely happy and pleased with myself now. And that's because of the college stuff. That's not just because of some weird change in mood. The finish line's in sight. I feel equipped, and I feel like I've produced some good work. And I haven't been able to say that loads over the course. So whatever the result, I'm very pleased. Alright, sorry to keep coming back to this. I think that's it.